For my last video, 100% of the viewers were male, which isn't a problem for me because I appreciate that at least one gender is willing to watch my video. But hey, maybe if I talk about girl-core anime, I can lure in the females too. Therefore, today I will discuss one of the most influential and well-known anime in the shoujo genre, Nana. I don't usually watch soaps, so today must be a special day because I watched the anime and read the manga. If you've never watched this series and don't mind getting spoiled, feel free to continue watching as I will briefly introduce the main characters' romantic lives before diving into my main arguments. Nana is about two girls with the same name Nana. For the sake of this video, I'll call them Hachi and Nana because that's how they address each other, and it's less confusing that way. As strangers, they first met on a train to Tokyo. They had different goals, with Nana wanting to advance her music career and Hachi simply wanting to be with her boyfriend who was living in Tokyo at the time. The two girls didn't exchange contact details but somehow met coincidentally for the second time when viewing an apartment. And that's how they became roommates. Nana is the vocalist of the punk rock band called Blast. The members of Blast frequently visit the apartment and Hachi quickly befriends all of them. Now, people have a lot to say about the men that the two main characters date. And understandably so, because Hachi's first boyfriend was a married man who dated her while she was still in high school. Her second boyfriend, aka the one whom she moved to Tokyo to be with, eventually cheated on her with a co-worker. Through the band, Hachi got to know Takumi, the bassist of a popular pop rock band, Trap Nest. And somehow they started to hook up. She later broke it off to date Nobu, a guitarist from Blast. Nobu was actually good to her, but it wasn't long before Hachi found out that she was pregnant. Most likely from Takumi because he's the only one who doesn't wear a condom. She ended her relationship with Nobu and decided to marry Takumi instead, and let me tell you, this guy has much bigger problems than not wearing a condom. Meanwhile, Nana has a much simpler dating life. She was in a relationship with Ren, who was the guitarist of Trap Nest, and Ren has his own share of problems like drug abuse. This is why many fans of the series say that Hachi and Nana should just date each other, such as this person with the username Hachiko, who's pretty adamant in their argument. I can't say for sure whether they're lesbians or not, because I'm not really an expert in deducing people's sexuality. This is also the first time I've seen the word comp-het. Personally, I just don't think that Hachi and Nana were ever meant to be a couple. Don't get me wrong, I'm not against them being together, but I simply don't believe that their romantic relationship would be anywhere as fulfilling as their friendship. And I'll explain why. Hachi dreams of becoming a housewife and living in a big house. She's idealistic and chases the idea of a perfect partner like one you would see in novels or on TV. She's pretty self-centered when it comes to expecting emotional attention from her romantic partners. This can be seen with one of her boyfriends, Shoji. Hachi never seemed to care as much about him as she expected him to care about her. She made insensitive remarks about his schedule and financial situation, even though he had to juggle school and work at the same time. Meanwhile, Shoji never said anything when Hachi went to him for financial help after she splurged all her money on new clothes. Essentially, Hachi's ideal partner is someone who has the resources and time to take care of her. For Nana, going professional with the band means having to be away from home for days or even weeks. This would mean that Nana is unable to provide Hachi with the attention and emotional support that she expects from a partner.
Okay, but Hachi ended up marrying Takumi, who's also in a band and almost never home.
That's because she wanted to keep the child, so the options surrounding her future were pretty limited. She believed that her best option at the time was to marry Takumi, who couldn't always provide her with emotional stability, but had a ton of money to keep her and the child financially secure. The only reason why Hachi stopped being so idealistic is because of the accidental pregnancy. If Hachi had never hooked up with Takumi and instead dated Nana, well, then Hachi wouldn't experience an accidental pregnancy, so it would take much longer for her to stop being so self-centered and idealistic. As friends, Hachi and Nana do things for each other without expecting anything back, and that's why they're so happy when it comes to both giving and receiving. Due to having been abandoned by her mom as a child, Nana has always been possessive over the ones that are closest to her. Her band members seem to notice this. I've heard a lot of people say that her possessiveness is an issue for people whom she's close with, but in my opinion, these feelings are more detrimental to herself than others. Often, she tries to hide these feelings for the sake of others, whether it be giving up on her relationship for her and her boyfriend's futures, or making the decision to support Hachi despite the fact that she was secretly against Hachi marrying Takumi. On the outside, Nana seems strong, but this fear of abandonment lingers in the back of her mind. She damn near has panic attacks whenever Hachi seems to be taken away from her. And bear in mind, It's already this bad when she admits she has actively tried to put some distance between them. So imagine how unhealthy it would be for Nana if they were actually lovers. Unless Nana can overcome her fears, she may struggle to form a healthy relationship with not only Hachi, but also with anyone in general. Something frustrating about this series is that there are characters that give good advice, but nobody ever takes the advice given. Well, I guess that's just a reflection of real life. We know that Nana isn't the best at communicating because of her pride, and also because Hachi is her first female friend. It's worth noting that Nana's first response to any kind of conflict is to flee and avoid the other person. The first time Nana and Hachi had a conflict, it was over whether a blast fan should be allowed to stay in the apartment. This made Nana leave the house for one night. The second conflict was much more complicated and involved the pregnancy. This time, Nana left and only came back to the house after a week. When she came back, Hachi had already moved out. You would think that this incident made her realize that she should communicate better, but no. Somehow avoidance became the norm for every disagreement. This pattern repeated with Ren, and this time she avoided him for over a month. If only Nana were more honest, then it would work, if not for the fact that Hachi is just as bad when it comes to communication. Case in point, pregnancy incident. Since Hachi didn't want Nana and Nobu to think poorly of her, she kept her pregnancy a secret. In the end, Takumi was the first one to find out that she was pregnant. Being a manipulative and possessive asshole, he proceeded to lock Hachi in her bedroom and use her phone to call Nobu, who was Hachi's boyfriend at the time. Imagine your girlfriend's pregnant with a 90% chance of it being another man's kid, and having that man inform you of her pregnancy by calling you through her phone. How considerate, saves you the trouble of having to find it out yourself. Of course, this isn't Hachi's fault, but what happens next is all on her. Nobu rushes to Hachi's place and wants Hachi to explain things, but Hachi refuses to say anything except apologize, so Nobu leaves in disappointment. At first, we were made to think that Hachi kept silent just because she didn't want to tie him down with the kid. But much later, it was revealed that Hachi was just upset that Nobu would doubt her. Bear in mind, this is the kind of stuff that Nana would have to deal with if she were Hachi's partner. I know it sucks to get questioned when you're already in a vulnerable state, but it's perfectly rational for your partner to want to know why there's a random guy in the house telling people that you're pregnant. When Nana eventually arrives at the apartment, Takumi asks her to sit down with the two of them. Nana's only just found out about Hachi's pregnancy, and now she's getting told that her best friend is suddenly getting married and moving away. The whole time, she has to hear this information from Takumi. Hachi is completely silent, even while sitting opposite Nana. So it's kinda understandable that Nana's frustrated. In this scene, I can't really justify why Hachi doesn't say anything, so if you can reason out her actions, please tell me in the comments. The point is, if Hachi and Nana were ever a couple, they would definitely have a lot of problems with communication. Despite me having said all these, Hachi and Nana do have a lot of complementary traits, but just because they do, doesn't mean that they're suited to be in a relationship. Now, I want to briefly talk about the inner monologues that the two characters have throughout the series. The two girls use phrases like first love, falling in love, or love of my life. A lot of people say that this is evidence of their romantic desire towards each other, and that even they themselves were unaware of this desire due to living in a heteronormative society. My own interpretation of these monologues is that there's some aspect of romance inherently imbued in their friendship, but it doesn't mean that they actually want to date each other. At one point, Hachi even acknowledges this. Here she says, "I swear, if Nana were a guy, she'd be the love of my life." That's what I thought back then. But then, I wouldn't have experienced such happy times and memories. To me, the inner monologues of the two protagonists are meant to show that friendship can go even deeper than romantic relationships, and that romance doesn't necessarily have to lie at the pinnacle of a relationship between two individuals. Sometimes the most precious relationships are better preserved in a platonic rather than in a romantic fashion. This can also be seen in how Takumi views Layla, but this video isn't about them. But honestly, I wouldn't mind talking about Takumi and Layla in another video if you guys want me to. See ya!